All right, YouTube. Once again, it's Kennard Vernon Stewart here for the podcast talking Auburn football. Go ahead and like this video, comment, and subscribe to Vernon Speaks Sports Auburn. As always, it's great to be an Auburn Tiger, War Eagle. All right, guys. Here's a bright spot to this particular 2019 football season that is absolutely obvious is the Auburn defense. Now, a lot of you folks may be thinking, okay, well, Derrick Brown came back, Marlon Davidson came back. These guys were going to be good anyway. But this has been a work in progress really for the last couple of years. The defenses have been pretty good under Kevin Steele's regime at Auburn. He's had I'm talking about a college coaching career that dates back a long time ago. And he's proven in his craft. He's got Travis Williams. He's got Rodney Garner. He's got a lot of good coaches around him. That's one thing that I think that makes this great is the player development for Auburn on defense is at a high level, number one. Auburn has also had the benefit of the 2018 recruiting class, Christian Tutt, guys like those, Smoke Monday, Jamie Sherwood, and also probably one of the best recruits in years on defense at Owen Papo. Now, another thing that has really helped this Auburn defense is the return of Derrick Brown and Marlon Davidson. I'm going to tell you why. What began to happen is an overlap of talent. You're talking about guys that have been on this particular squad since 2015 and 16. I think about guys like Derrick Brown, Jeremiah Denson, and Daniel Thomas at the safety position. Daniel Thomas and Jeremiah Denson, for all you recruiting heads, those guys were actually low-end 3-star recruits out of high school. You wouldn't be able to tell that because of the development and the tenacity at which these guys have played over the years, and now you have that overlap in talent, and now it gives Auburn the opportunity to not only have a great season this year, but a unique opportunity to reload next year. Talk about guys like Cornish Miller, Tyrone Truesdale, Derek Hall, Jaron Handy, who Auburn has recruited over the past couple of years, recruiting classes that have helped. A lot of y'all may think, well, Derrick Brown and Marlon Davidson just absolutely wasted their time by coming back to Auburn this year. Now, maybe so if you're looking at it from you come back to win a championship and SEC championship, the odds of that happening weren't all that good anyway. As the season progressed, we saw some opportunity, but just on the, entire scope of this, SEC championship was not necessarily on the table, especially when it just so happens rotation-wise, you have to play Florida, who has emerged. Then you got LSU, Alabama, and Georgia, which are guaranteed on your schedule. Then you have a team that's probably going to win the Pac-12 in Oregon on your schedule. Texas A&M wasn't a slouch. So really, the odds of Auburn winning a high-level championships before the season started really weren't all that good, even with Joey Gatewood and Bo Nix. So it leads me to my next point. Derrick Brown and Marlon Davidson, in a way, did themselves a favor by coming back for their senior years. Last year's NFL draft had a whole lot of defensive linemen in that draft. I'm not saying that Derrick Brown and Marlon Davidson wouldn't have been drafted, but I think by coming back and by them having the dominant seasons that they've had, these guys, okay, they play rock, paper, scissors as to who's going to be the defensive lineman of the week in the SEC. That's not an easy thing to do. The SEC probably has some of the most talented guys in or on the defensive line side. Teams in the SEC, especially the SEC West, pride themselves on how good their defensive lines are. I think when you look at the total body of work, there's no better defensive line in the country as what we got at Auburn. So, in a way, long-term, financially, especially when you look at the NFL, Derrick Brown, Marlon Davidson has put their stamp not only on Auburn's defense, but also put their stamp on their careers in the NFL. They upped their draft stock by taking ownership of this particular defense, playing on a dominant level. They're going to earn them some money. Might not get an SEC championship, Well, it's not a might. They're not going to get an SEC championship, not going to win the national championship, but they set the stage for the future of Auburn and what's expected from the defensive line position at Auburn. Also, great for recruiting. They're like, man, they got some dominant guys down there. I want to be a part of that kind of program. Sure, you want to follow in the footsteps of a Derek Brown, of a Marlon Davidson, Big Cat Bryant starting to emerge, T.D. Moultrie starting to emerge. Nick Coe actually has one more year left. I think Nick Coe needs to come back. He did not have the season that he wanted to have, but I think it gives him the opportunity that Marlon Davidson and Derek Brown had coming back to their senior year to have some level of redemption. This is the best defense in the country, guys, and I'm going to tell you why. Any adjustment against any team that Auburn wants to make, they can do it. Why? Because they have the athletes to do it. You can interchange the linebacker position. I've seen situations where Jeremiah Denson lined up at Will and Sam. Daniel Thomas as well, to add some speed. So teams can't do what they did in the past to Auburn. You block Derek Brown down and you attack the edge. You can't do that anymore because Auburn has a lot better athletes on defense, and they've recruited a lot better athletes, and they have the personnel as far as coaching to develop these guys to a whole nother level. I think if you look back and you look at that LSU game and you see how Auburn was able to really diversify their attack, it set the stage as to why, yeah, maybe we can look at this and say that this is a defense that was wasted. I'm not a big fan of that kind of verbiage. Maybe so, because this is a championship defense. There's no team that has scored over 30 points against this particular team, and they were never outmatched in any game that they played. Very good defense for the Auburn Tigers. I think the defense for the Auburn Tigers deserves a big war eagle in 2019. Go ahead and like this video, comment, and subscribe to Vernon Speaks Sports Auburn. Give these guys a big war eagle. We got the best defense in the country, best defensive line. I love defense anyway, so I'm ecstatic about the next couple of games, continuing to see this masterpiece in action. War Eagle.